1589. Henri de Navarre becomes King of France. He's really interested in North America, but since Jacques Cartier's exploration nearly 50 years earlier, attempts at French colonization have failed. So Henri commissions an old comrade in arms to found colonies for France. 1603, 3 ships sailed from the port of Honfleur. Leading them, La Bonne Renommée, skippered by Captain Gravé Dupont. He was called Pont Gravé. At his side, Samuel Champlain, in charge of the king's mission, and on his very first voyage.
All hands on deck! Man the pumps! Look, seagulls! That means land isn't far! And it's about time that we got around that monster iceberg. I was afraid it was the end. At last, the St. Lawrence!
I've never seen such a wide river. That's not right. Beak is here, and the Saguenay here.
Ah, yes, that is Tadoussac.
I thought it would be a larger town.
After 72 days at sea, here they are in the Saguenay Cove. And from the following day on...
Greetings to you, great chief Anna d'Abijou.
Greetings, mighty white chief. Thanks for bringing my boys home.
Your skins for this.
It's a big country with teepees that touch the sky, and different, every one of them. And hard as rock. And they're warriors, strong, and a chief general.
I am very pleased that your king chief gives friendship to Montaignes and will help us fight our enemies. Now you smoke, peace pipe. Those ribbons tell men where the spirits come from. 4 spirits in one, 4 spirits making one, the father of us all, our one and only God. Tell me all about your God. How did he make white men?
Oh, well, he made a man named Adam. He was alone. Of course, before long, Adam was bored, so God took one of his ribs and... well, you understand.
I like your religion. Yes, just as much as mine.
Our women are beautiful.
Our friends go over 100 kilometers up the Saguenay. They're going to set up a trading post for the first time.
Yes, Great White Chief. You just go upriver, that's all.
There are stories about a great salty sea, and could this be the long-sought passage to China? Well, they sail up the St. Lawrence as far as 3 Rivers, which is an ideal spot to make friends with the Indians and to organize trading with them. Or at least so thought Champlain. Well, now it's time to go back. But on this day in June 1603, overlooking 3 Rivers, Champlain has a great dream, the idea of creating Canada. Upon returning to France, our friends learn that the Commander de Chastes has died. Upon their insistence, Pierre du Guy-de-Mont is appointed as Lieutenant General of Cadiz, Canada, and the other territories in New France with exclusive rights to the fur trade, the profits of which will serve to pay the costs of colonization. Silence! I am told His Majesty has made a decree, and from now on, he has a monopoly on the fur trade in New France.
What's to become of then of us?
Nobody stops me from trading in furs.
I am not going to stand for this. We merchants have influence.
Champlain's second expedition. In April 1604, a ship of 150 tons leaves Le Havre, under the command of du Guy-de-Mont, accompanied by Champlain, Jean de Poutrincourt, who is royal observer and mapmaker, a priest, and others. Another ship, commanded by Pont Gravé, leaves 3 days later, and after a month at sea...
Captain, another ship there!
Ahoy, a ship on our port bow.
Illegal fur traders. This time they won't get away. Get back! I confiscate all of it.
In my judgment, gentlemen, here on this island we will spend the winter. We will call it St. Croix.
I'm dying of thirst. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's cider. Lick it.
I'm afraid it's scurvy. What can we do?
The price of spending that first Acadian winter, 35 of the 80 Frenchmen perish, but the survivors aren't in very good shape either.
Where are they? It's already mid-June.
We're not spending another winter in this island. We've lost too many men as is. Now, next winter, we set up at Port Royal. It's more sheltered and the climate is better.
This is our harvest.
The news we hear from our friend Port Gravé gives us considerable concern for the future of the colony. I'd better return to France to protect our interests here.
On his return to France, de Guaudemontis will be caught up in endless intrigues and plots. And finally, he asks his friend Portancourt to help him.
I will be returning to America. Would you like to come too?
America? I've dreamed of high adventure in America. Imagine going into a new continent at my age. There were dreams I've had bucking broncos, driving the first steam locomotive across... but no, that's much later. Will I go? Well, of course I will. I wouldn't miss the chance of a lifetime.
The king may not renew our royal charter.
Don't you worry. I'll make him say yes. Your Majesty. And also... well...
Yes.
Yes, but there are large stakes involved. I'd be surprised if our enemies relented. There's my ship, the Jonas, a beauty, wouldn't you say? In a couple of days or so, we'll weigh anchor and be off. Spring isn't far off. Soon the ships will arrive with supplies. The men are growing very impatient.
And have we lost many of our men during the winter, Champlain?
No, not many deaths, but many of the men aren't well.
Now listen, mate. Right.
And we've waited much too long. Summon up your men. We've no time to waste.
What are they doing? It's mid-May.
Monsieur.
Monsieur?
want to bring a priest to America? Well, I'm not the one. I'm too busy.
Take along a priest. All our priests detest long sea voyages.
All right, but come after Easter.
At last we can set sail. Now all we need is a favorable tide. What are we waiting for, Captain? Every day you find a good reason not to sail. Why?
Because the men I used to work for doesn't want this expedition to set off.
In that case, off the ship at once. And you can tell your friends we'll sail without you. It's July. I'm afraid they won't come. We'll have to give the colony up.
Ahoy! I've been sent ahead! The ship's on its way!
My friends, let me say, if you want to survive here, then you must be self-reliant. Learn to cultivate crops. You'll have fresh vegetables and you won't be sick anymore. At Ascension time, a ship arrived from France. But the news was disastrous. The concession was canceled. No new troops, no supplies, and now they really would have to give up.
Your Majesty, the harvest from New France. What do you say, sire? Isn't this the most precious thing we could bring back from any country?
I must admit it's a powerful argument.
I've examined the reasons for your decision, every one, Your Majesty. And by my ancient beard, they obey not one of Your Majesty's laws.
Not one of those traders you favor would give an ear of corn in your service. Whereas we, Your Majesty, will colonize a continent for you.
You know full well, Majesty, we are not driven by a lust for profit. Our only concern is for Your Majesty and the grandeur of your kingdom.
Those men possess ships which we need, and gold for the state.
Can Your Majesty really prize common trade and vulgar gold? Does Your Majesty stoop so low?
Very well, you have convinced me, gentlemen. I shall renew your concession. You will note this extension expires in a year. Just a minute, Maestro. Now, my old friend, what must I do so that gold will not govern all affairs of state? Oh, God, how can a man rule without money?
In 1610, Ravaillac, a religious fanatic, assassinated the king in a Paris street. This excellent king, the very model of understanding and tolerance. Well, our friends were off again. Poutrincourt is on a mission to retake Acadia. Pont-Gravé will negotiate with the Indians and bring ships back to France full of pelts. And Champlain will govern the colony of Quebec. 5 years later, on the 3rd of July, 1608, Champlain returns to Quebec. It's just as he left it. Where shall I build my city, he wonders. There is the perfect place. And this is where he had it built, on a spur overlooking the St. Lawrence River and the entire valley. This is the place that should grow and be populated. Here is the cradle and the future of this land. Oh, yes, it's truly a splendid house. But sometimes I begin to wonder what will it be like in the future. One day, I'm sure it could look like this. Well, you don't like it. Well, if you don't like it, then again, it might look like this.
Excuse me, Monsieur Champlain. My name is Testu. I'm the pilot. I thought you should know there's a plot against you. They want to kill you, take over the whole place. They're powerful men behind it. I guess they're playing for high stakes.
The guilty ones all confessed their crimes, and there are no attenuating circumstances. Treason, attempted murder, the case is clear. The verdict must be but one. They hang. The verdict is fair, but we don't want to create martyrs.
We must set an example.
Yes, I agree. We hang only one.
Before the coming of winter, as planned, Pont-Gravé returns to France with his cargo. Once again, the colony pays a high price to hard winter. As agreed, Pont-Gravé returns in the spring with reinforcements and supplies.
Two blankets, one skin, right?
No! 3 blankets, 1 skin, right. Many moons ago, you swore to help us. You said you would destroy our enemies. The Iroquois are a treacherous people. We go on the warpath. Will you come? You give your word. You said you would come with your army.
If the Iroquois do battle with our friends the Algonquins, well then, they are our enemies too. And we will fight at your side.
On the 1st of July, 1609, they all set off for war. They go upriver to find the Iroquois. They come upon a lake which they name Lake Champlain. With victory in the Battle of Snow Point, Champlain won undying friendship from the Algonquins, but he also seriously compromised France's colonies in the New World, because the Iroquois were fierce warriors and thereafter would be allies of the English. It was their help in the ultimate battle that proved decisive, and those battles came one upon another. Champlain was wounded. Another victory. Forgetting all the disappointments Champlain suffered at the hands of an indifferent France which cared so little for this beautiful land, surely it was here that our tireless pioneer was happy. He was always ready to overcome any problem. This time, what was to be the expedition's mission? Despite the reluctance of the Indians, it was to go up the Ottawa River, all the way to the sea, to the north. Were they going to discover the passage to China?
Well, great chief, what is your decision? I'm waiting for your answer.
You go to your death. You must not go.
But chief,
But despite all his insistence, the Indians refuse to guide him north, and he has to return. Champlain goes into his third campaign. This one was to prove his most successful. On this one, he discovers the Great Lakes and the lands of the Hurons and the Iroquois. One of the most beautiful of all Champlain's discoveries, Lake Huron and its outlets in Georgia Bay. It's August, and here we are in Kamiyage, the largest village on Lake Huron.
Oh my goodness, do you realize this will be the first Franciscan mission in Canada?
Yes, and my men, were they up to the measure, Father?
Oh, yeah.
We are on warpath. We expect 2,500 warriors.
Then you can count on us.
Oh, Shatagan, my brother, my blood brother, my white brother Champlain. Welcome.
Ugh.
No, wait! Come back! Stop! I mean, we can't attack like that! Come back!
Go on, now! Shoot!
Let's have some discipline here, my brothers! Oh. The wind has shifted. Now it's in our favor. Back into battle. But this time, keep some order. Don't go, wait. We can still win. If you go now, it's all over. Don't go. Oh.
Champlain will think about this lost battle for a long time, and he'll think about his battles in France, where Canada interests only traders. Why is he doing all this? A man of weaker character would have given up. But Champlain will go on, and for many years, with his boundless energy, making new discoveries, structuring a whole country. He comes to Quebec with his very young wife, while at nearby Cape Cod, the Mayflower docks with its boatload of Puritans. England declares war on France, and at Quebec they haven't even a cannonball to defend themselves. The peace treaty of Saint-Germain returns to France its Canadian possessions, and in 1635, Champlain dies in Quebec. At that time, there were 150 French people in Canada, and there would be 12,000 at the end of the century, and 250,000 English. The French were too comfortable at home. They let one of the greatest opportunities of history slip through their fingers.
Once upon a time, the Americas are a story that continues on. Once upon a